It has only been about 6 months since Realme announced the Realme 5 series, and today we already have the Realme 6 Pro with us. So what makes this phone so pro? And as the title suggests, there are quite a few hits and misses, and today we're just going to take you through all of it because this is going to be an interesting review. So let's begin by talking about the entire unboxing experience first. The Realme 6 Pro comes in this iconic Realme yellow box. So inside the box you do get the phone itself, some documentation, a 30-watt charger, a USB Type A to USB Type C cable for you to charge the phone, and also a TPU case, and that's about it. And the design of the Realme 6 Pro is actually kind of, I don't know how you say it, because it has this kind of Thunderbolt design. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can, because under certain reflection you can see the Thunderbolt logo that's appearing at the back of the phone. Yeah, I find it kind of tacky. I'm not too sure why they do it, because it seems like Realme is shoving it into your face by saying that the Realme 6 Pro is meant for speed, and hence the lightning bolt at the back. It is also available in multiple different colors if I'm not mistaken. The one that we have here is in this darkish blue. I'm not too sure what's the name, but yeah, it has this lightning reflection thing. And even though Realme has this kind of beautiful reflective back, they still included a smoked TPU case for you to put on the phone. And once you put it on, yeah, the reflection just kind of goes away, and I'm not too sure why they didn't include a transparent TPU case instead. Oh yeah, Realme also moved the fingerprint scanner to the right side, so there is nothing at the back, and you can fully admire the Thunderbolt reflective back here. And now let's take a look at the screen itself. So the Realme 6 Pro comes in this 6.6-inch IPS LCD display with a pill-shaped cutout at the top left corner here. And since it is using an IPS panel, there is some sort of black glow around the cutout itself. This is an inherent issue with IPS displays with punch holes because how do I explain this? IPS display has a lot of layers compared to AMOLED, and so AMOLED's cutout is just one layer and there's a hole there. But for IPS panels, once you cut a hole there are quite a lot of gap, and that's why you can see the black glow. It's actually drop shadow from the other layers. And one interesting thing is that the Realme 6 Pro can actually go up to 90Hz refresh rate. Yes, for a mid-range smartphone, it can go 90Hz. But there are quite a lot of accusations that Realme is using a fake 90Hz, and I'm going to say this with quotes, fake 90Hz, and we actually did our own investigation, which you can check it out at the top right corner there when it's published. So do check that out, because that is also a very interesting thing that we spend our time doing, and we would appreciate it if you would give it a watch and share it with your friends as well. But that fake 90Hz aside, how does the Realme 6 Pro actually perform? Well, it does come with this list of specs right here, and the most interesting thing here is that it opted to use the Snapdragon 720G. And yeah, I don't know how that chipset would handle 90Hz display, because as far as we know, even the original Asus ROG phone, the first one, with the Snapdragon 845, it cannot maintain 60Hz or 90Hz while in an intensive game. So what does this chipset have to offer? Well, as you can see in the benchmarks here, the Snapdragon 720G is of course not going to be as good as the Snapdragon 845, but it still is quite a decent performer. And when it comes to the VRMark benchmark, this is where things get interesting, because as you know, we have moved to VRMark's average frame rate scores instead of the overall number score, because that is totally broken. And it is here that we can see that the Snapdragon 720G fails to retain the frame rates at even 60Hz, and it is just stuck at 29 FPS all the time. And yeah, I don't know why they included a 90Hz display. Maybe that's just for you to scroll Facebook and maybe Google Chrome smoothly, and that's pretty much what you can do with this phone. So how about the Realme 6 Pro's cameras? Well, Realme actually advertised the Realme 6 Pro as the Pro Photographer camera phone, and it has a total of 6 different cameras. You have 4 at the back and 2 more at the front. but we're only going to focus at the rear cameras because it comes with this list of cameras. As for the main camera, I do like the contrast and the colors that comes out of it. However, when you start to view all the pictures in 100% crop, you can see for some reason it just looks like an over sharpened painting. All the details are gone, and yeah, I just don't know what's happening. But you can take pictures in 64 megapixel mode, and then you start to zoom it in and things start to get a little better. And everything I've said about the main camera also applies to the telephoto camera, and then we shall move on to the ultra wide angle camera, which I think it's kind of okay. I actually like this camera a lot. However, as shown in this picture here, I do think that Realme is using a pretty cheap lens for the ultra wide angle camera because you can see chromatic aberrations at the top right corner there, which is very apparent, and it is also very distracting. And now for the last camera at the back of the Realme 6 Pro, that macro camera. Just don't use it. It's very horrible in terms of quality and also getting the focus, and overall 2 megapixels is just not enough. It's way too noisy, and yeah, I would really suggest you to use that 64 megapixel camera. Take a picture in 64 megapixel and then crop it down to create that macro sense. That would be a lot more suitable, and the image quality will look better than straight up using the macro camera found at the back of the Realme 6 Pro. But how about the battery life of the Realme 6 Pro? So this phone comes with a 4300 mAh battery, and coupled with that Snapdragon 720G chipset, well, the battery life is actually quite okay when we are using 1080p 60Hz. However, when we crank it up to 1080p 90Hz, well, the battery life tanks a lot. And as you can see in this comparison chart here, we set it to the exact same brightness and the battery life just, oh, it got such a big impact. And it is here that we can infer that the Snapdragon 720G is not optimized for high refresh rate displays like the Realme 6 Pro has. As for the charger, well, Realme did include a 30-watt charger in the box itself, and this 30-watt charger can charge the phone from 15 all the way to 100% in about 50 minutes. So now, conclusion time. I can't really give you the full conclusion about the Realme 6 Pro because we still do not have the price as of now. However, what we can say is maybe consider the Realme 6 instead. Yes, the non-Pro version, because that is a much better phone, and you can check out our review of the Realme 6 at the top right corner there as well, which we will link it whenever we published it. And yeah, that phone comes with a much better chipset. It has much better battery life when you go for 90Hz, and overall, I would say that would be a much better deal considering that this Realme 6 Pro would be much more expensive than the Realme 6. But yeah, they do come with a lot of similarities. So yes, that is our full review of the Realme 6 Pro. Yeah, if you want any other details, like for example the price, we will update it at the description below. If you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below as well, and do like and subscribe this video. We will see you in the next video.